Have you ever looked around and felt like you're stuck in a déjà vu loop? Like, hold up, didn't I already do this? These conversations, these lessons, even this heartbreak? It's like Earth is on rerun and you're the only one who realizes it. You go through the motions, sip your coffee, laugh at jokes, chase dreams, but deep down, it all feels weirdly familiar, like you're living someone else's dream, in a body you borrowed, in a world that forgot you were just visiting. You're not broken. You're not crazy. Your soul might just be on its final lap through this human journey. And if that's true, you're not here to learn anymore. You're here to remember. In this video, we're going to uncover the 12 unmistakable signs that this is your last incarnation on Earth. What happens to your soul after you complete the cycle, and how to tell if your deep spiritual homesickness is actually a sign that you're almost home. So don't click away, because by the end of this, you won't just understand yourself better. You'll know why Earth never quite felt like home in the first place. You might just be on your final round through this cosmic escape room we call Earth. And guess what? That's a big deal. But wait, final round? Like a video game boss level? Exactly. Except the boss isn't some monster. It's your own unfinished business, your desires, and maybe your deep, deep obsession with oat milk lattes. Let's start with something most people ignore, that weird feeling you've always had. You love life, but it doesn't quite feel like home. It's like showing up to a party and realizing you already said your goodbyes 2 lifetimes ago. You feel like a visitor in your own life. You're here, you show up, you pay your bills, you pet your dog, you go to weddings, birthdays, maybe even that one Zumba class your cousin forced you into. But deep down, it all feels kind of meh, like you're watching yourself on TV and you already know the plot twist. It's not depression, it's not burnout. It's something deeper, a soul-level knowing that you've been here before, many, many times. And now, you're almost done. So what's going on here? Is this some spiritual snooze button you forgot to hit? Let's zoom out and look at the bigger picture. What is reincarnation really? Reincarnation isn't just about coming back as a Victorian chimney sweep or Cleopatra's neighbor. It's about soul evolution. Each life you live is a classroom. And you've probably been the student, the teacher, the janitor, and the guy who slept through class multiple times. Spiritual traditions say we return again and again to learn lessons. But what they don't always tell you is, there's a graduation. Yeah, like cosmic college. And some of us are at the edge of the stage, diploma in soul hand, ready to toss our little energetic hats in the air. But why do we keep coming back? Simple. Karma. Desire, fear, attachments, unlearned lessons, and that one person from your past life you still haven't blocked. Each round through Earth is like a new episode. Sometimes it's a rom-com, sometimes it's a drama, and occasionally a horror show where your ex is the main character. But once your soul has experienced the full emotional buffet of this planet, joy, grief, heartbreak, betrayal, ecstasy, taxes, you start to feel full, not tired, just complete. Like you've tasted all the flavors of Earth, and you're ready to go back to the kitchen where the recipe came from. Here's where it gets interesting. You stop needing earthly things the same way. When you're close to the final lap, something strange happens. You stop chasing. You stop needing to prove anything, win anything, impress anyone. You don't care about the scoreboard anymore. You're not bitter. You're just not hungry. You still love. You still care, but from a place of peace, not panic. And here's the mind-blowing part. Time stops feeling linear. Ever feel like everything's happening at once? You think of someone, and they text. You hear a word, and it shows up on a billboard. You dream of a place you've never been, and it feels more familiar than your own apartment. You might even say, "This conversation, I swear it already happened." It's not a glitch. It's your awareness starting to slip outside the illusion of time. And that's one of the biggest signs that your soul is nearing the end of its reincarnation journey. Because time, as the mystics say, is just Earth's version of a playlist. Your soul, it's on shuffle. If you've ever felt like you're here but not really of here, you love Earth but don't feel rooted, you're oddly peaceful while everyone else is scrambling, then this might not be your first rodeo. It might be your last. So now that we've peeked behind the curtain of this lifetime, what does it actually feel like to be in your last incarnation? How do these soul signs show up in your daily life, your emotions, your relationships? Get ready, because in Chapter 2, we're diving straight into the signs. Some are beautiful, some are weird, and some might explain why you cry every time you see an old tree or feel homesick for a place you can't name. Stay tuned. Your soul might just be remembering its way home. Have you ever cried over a song that you've never heard before? Ever looked at the stars and whispered, "Take me home," but didn't know where home was? Or felt like life is beautiful, but something in you is quietly packing its bags? You might be in your final incarnation. Not because you're done with life, but because your soul has learned life. Fully, deeply, enough to whisper, "Thank you, Earth. I love you, but I don't need to come back." Let's talk about the 12 eerie, magical, hilarious, and goosebump-worthy signs this might be your last ride through the human theme park. Sign number 1. Existential boredom that no hobby can fix. You used to be excited about goals, drama, shopping sprees, hot people with good hair. Now, meh. You'd rather watch the wind move a leaf. You're not lazy, you're not depressed, you're just complete. You've eaten every flavor on the Earth menu, and now you're just sipping water and waiting for the bill. Sign number 2. You feel time is off. You say things like, "Didn't this already happen? Why does this feel like a dream?" Or, "Is it Thursday or year 1842? Time starts to feel more like a suggestion than a rule. That's because your soul is slipping out of linear thinking and peeking into the truth. All your lives are happening at once. Yep, right now. It's like being in a cosmic Netflix series and you've finally found the remote. Sign number 3. Deep compassion without drama. You don't hate people, you just don't want to fix them anymore. You feel love, but it's not needy or codependent. You understand people's pain without getting sucked into it. It's not coldness, it's soul wisdom. You're like that wise grandma who hands someone soup and says, "It's gonna hurt, but you'll be okay." Sign number 4. Forgiveness comes easy. You used to plot revenge in the shower. Now, you don't even remember why you were mad. You don't forgive people because they deserve it. You forgive because carrying that weight just feels heavy, and when your soul's this close to graduating, revenge starts to feel like repeating the 3rd grade on purpose. Sign number 5. Your identity is falling apart, in a good way. You're losing interest in labels. I'm a Virgo, a lawyer, a gym girl, a night owl, an empath. Suddenly none of it matters. You're not your job, not your trauma, not your playlist. You just are. You become like water, no shape, no performance, just presence. Sign number 6. You're drawn to the stars and can't explain why. Sometimes you stare at the night sky for a little too long. You feel homesick for somewhere that doesn't exist on Google Maps. You dream of light cities. You recognize symbols you've never studied. You meet people and think, I know you, but not from this life. You're not weird, you're remembering. Sign number 7. Synchronicities are your new normal. You think of a person, they call. You ask for a sign, a crow lands on your car. You're about to give up and a random billboard says you're on the right path. It's not magic, it's you syncing up with reality's deeper rhythm. The universe isn't testing you anymore, it's talking with you. Sign number 8. Emotional minimalism. You don't want drama, gossip, hot takes, or 50-tab scrolling. You want quiet, trees, realness, breathing. You want a life that feels like a warm blanket, not a roller coaster. You don't need highs anymore. You crave peace. And peace doesn't shout, it whispers. Sign number 9. Laser-sharp intuition with no interest in spiritual fame. You smell lies before they're spoken. You walk into a room and instantly know the emotional weather, but you're not trying to be a guru. You're not opening a coaching program. You just trust yourself, and you don't need a crystal ball to do it. You've stopped chasing signs because you've become one. Sign number 10. Gentle loneliness. you can't quite name. You can be surrounded by people and still feel separate, not sad, not broken, just a little bit somewhere else. This loneliness is sacred. It's the whisper of your soul saying, "You've come so far. You're almost home." Sign number 11, no fear of death. You don't talk about it all the time, but you're not scared. You feel death, not as an end, but a return, a doorway. You don't want to die, but you're not resisting the idea either. That calm you feel, that's your soul recognizing. This isn't the end of the story. It's the turning of a page. Sign number 12. You live with radical presence. You still go to work, still pay taxes, still binge watch that show with talking dogs or crime-solving robots. But you're not chasing anything anymore. You're not waiting for one day. You're living now, fully, simply, softly. Because when you know this might be your last Earth chapter, every moment becomes holy. Hey, thank you for being here, for sharing this space, for being curious, for feeling so deeply. The road to remembering who we are isn't walked alone. And if anything I said hit you like, "Wait, that's me," then share it in the comments. Not to brag, but because someone else needs to see they're not the only one waking up this way. You don't owe the world an explanation, but your story might be the bridge someone else needs. Now here's the million-dollar question. If all of this is true, if your soul really is wrapping up its Earth adventure, what happens next? Do you float off into the void, rejoin the source, turn into a spirit guide with a clipboard? In Chapter 3, we'll talk about the after. Where do we go when Earth no longer needs us? And more importantly, what happens to love, to memory, to the ones we leave behind? Trust me, you don't want to miss this part. So you've lived, you've loved, you've cried in parking lots, danced in kitchens, healed heartbreaks, and forgiven things that still ache sometimes. And now, you're not just done with drama, you feel done with the whole Earth school. You don't want to run, you don't want to conquer, you just want to be free. But what does that mean? What happens when a soul finishes its very last incarnation? Where do you go? What happens to your memories? Do you still love people after you leave the planet? Let's go there, to the space between stories, to the soul's true home. The graduation isn't loud. It's soft, silent, cosmic. Let's clear this up. You don't float off in a white robe while harps play. It's not some spiritual concert with applause and glittery angel wings. The real last day on Earth isn't a performance. It's a quiet, inner ripeness. A sense that nothing's missing anymore. You've tasted all the flavors. You've danced all the dances. You've forgiven yourself into wholeness. And you don't feel above Earth. You just don't feel bound to it anymore. That's the shift. So where do you go when there's nothing left pulling you back? The life review isn't judgment. It's integration. Right after this life, the soul doesn't get punished. It doesn't get graded. It watches. It remembers. It feels. Every word you said, every tear you caused or wiped, every choice made in fear or in love. But here's the twist. You don't get scolded. You get to understand. You see yourself and others through the eyes of the soul. No shame, no ego, just truth. And it's beautiful because it's not about what you did wrong. It's about what you've become. You don't die into darkness. You rise into frequency. Your soul doesn't go up. It goes inward, deeper into the realms of light and consciousness. You don't float away. You expand. From a character in the story, back to the author. The density of Earth? Gone. What's left is clarity, peace, like slipping out of heavy boots and finally feeling the floor beneath your feet. And no, it's not boring. It's breathtaking. You remember who you really are. You're not Tanya or John or Jessica from accounting. You are the thread that wove through hundreds of lifetimes. the soul that loved in every century, the quiet witness to joy, betrayal, art, and prayer. And once you've completed your final round, you remember all of it, not just as memories, but as wisdom. You become not a person, but a field of knowing. You stop thinking. You just are. What about the people you love? Ah, this one hits the heart. Don't worry. Love doesn't end. Love never ends. When the soul leaves Earth, it doesn't forget its people. It remembers them more clearly than ever. And guess what? You reunite. All the old souls from your lifetimes, the friends, lovers, family, even the enemies who secretly helped you grow, they're there. Not as roles anymore, but as light. No more pain between you, just recognition. Ah, it was you. I see you now. Some souls stay to serve one last time. Here's the twist. Even after completing the Earth game, some souls return, not because they need to, but because they choose to. They come back not to evolve, but to love. They're not here to impress you with spiritual hashtags. They're the nurse holding your hand in your final hour, the stranger who says just the right thing at the right time, the person who smiles at you like they already know your soul. They don't preach, they are the message. Their final lifetime is one of quiet service, a gentle presence that changes lives without trying. Beyond Earth, what's out there? After Earth, the soul journeys through realms of light, realms where communication is telepathic, where time doesn't pass, it breathes, where everything is shared, not spoken. There's no religion, no hierarchy, no TikTok, just truth and joy, and the kind of love that doesn't need proof or promises. Some souls join soul groups, some rest, some guide the living from the other side, and some merge completely into the source, not disappearing, just remembering. I was always part of the all. And hey, if you're still watching this, it probably means this touched something deep in you. A remembering, a longing, a whisper from your own soul. So thank you for being brave enough to even consider that this might be your last time here, for letting your heart be seen, for walking gently. If this spoke to you, write in the comments, I'm remembering who I am, because I promise you, you are not alone. And someone else reading that comment will feel a little less lost in this world. This may be your last reincarnation, but it's not the end. It's the beginning of being truly, finally, eternally free. No more cycles, no more seeking, just presence, peace, and a love that has never left you, not for a single lifetime. If this resonated with you and you want to keep walking this wild, beautiful path together, subscribe. Not for me, for you, for the part of you that's waking up. And don't forget to hit the bell so you don't miss more videos like this. Your soul came here for a reason, and maybe this video was part of it. Until next time, keep remembering who you are. Keep loving like you've already come home. And know that somewhere in this great cosmic dream, I'm walking right beside you.